What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. If you want to see the daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video, because this is the NFL draft weekend. I have come out with so many videos already, and the videos are going to get more and more prevalent today because every single time the Ravens upload or make their pick, I have my instant reaction video. It will be coming out as soon as possible. The Ravens got 7 picks today. I'm also coming out with 3 videos before the draft actually starts at noon Eastern time. This will be the first video talking about the day 2 Ravens draft analysis. I will be putting out a couple of videos as well, over the next couple of hours, the first of which being the best day 3 wide receivers for the Baltimore Ravens because we traded Hollywood Brown. Then the next video is going to be about the best non-wide receiver sleeper players for the Baltimore Ravens to be targeting. But that's it for the intro. Make sure to stay tuned for those other videos and the draft reactions. And please, guys, we're trying to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the draft weekend. It's a lofty goal, but we're trying to hit it nonetheless. But let's get into it. All right, the Baltimore Ravens, with the first day, they smashed it out of the park. Then they're sitting there the second day, and they are looking at round 2, pick 45. Some guys are falling off the board all of a sudden. We're right at that pick. There's a couple of guys available. There's guys like George Pickens available. There's guys like David Ojabo available. There's guys like Travis Jones available. There's also a lot of cornerbacks that are available. Then the Baltimore Ravens, they go out and they select their edge rusher, Mr. David Ojabo. And now we don't know exactly whether or not he's going to be able to play this year. The hope is that he could play late into the season. However, even if he doesn't play this year, I still think it's a home run hitting pick because you're getting value. Let's say you don't get him until next year. We'll talk in the worst case scenario, we don't get him until next year. That is a first round talent that you were getting starting next season. That's a great pick in my opinion. Now, there's also hope that he can play this year as a first-round talent. Remember, this guy was mocked to the Baltimore Ravens at 14th overall right when we hired Mike McDonald because everybody knew this guy knows how to utilize him. This guy can get the best out of David Ojabo, and the guy that many people thought would be a better pure pass rusher than Aiden Hutchinson, the number 2 overall draft pick. People thought Ojabo would be a better pure pass rusher. Now, overall player, Aiden Hutchinson, better run stopper, better every down player. However, when it comes to purely rushing the passer, David Ojabo creates havoc. And he tore his Achilles, but he rocks that number 55. We know a guy in Baltimore that rocked the 55 that came back from an Achilles injury very quickly. Now, is he Terrell Suggs? No. But hopefully he can have a recovery and be able to come back at the end of the year so that when the Ravens are making that playoff push, they all of a sudden get to add a very solid edge rusher to the mix. I felt like that pick right there completely negates the, I don't want to say disappointment, but concern over drafting a guy like Tyler Linderbaum with the 25th pick in the draft, because the concern was, they could have gotten Jermaine Johnson. Well, they got a guy who was a better prospect than Jermaine Johnson, in my opinion, before the injury. So we got the best center in the draft, one of the best center prospects of all time, and arguably the 4th best, some would even argue 3rd best edge rusher in the draft class prior to his injury. His ceiling is one of the highest in this draft class. He's probably has the 3rd highest ceiling at edge in this draft class behind Thibodeau and behind Walker. He is incredible. So this draft selection, he may not be able to play right away. That's why he wasn't a first-round pick. But as a second-round pick, the value is unbelievable, guys. He is a monster on that defensive line. And I apologize if I'm talking a little bit quietly. I'm recording this at 1 in the morning, my time on, I guess it's 1 in the morning on Saturday. So, today when you guys are watching this. But I think that was an incredible pick. Then the Ravens end up going a little bit later in the draft, and they select Travis Jones. If you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan of Travis Jones. I made a draft profile on him talking about how he would be a perfect fit for the Baltimore Ravens. Why? Because he can play the 1 tech, he can play the 3 tech, he's a nose tackle, he can play really across the defensive line, he's very physical, he can stop the run with ease, and he has surprisingly great pass rush moves. He can actually generate push and not stumble and struggle taking down the quarterback. He can actually bring them down, get the sack, even chase after some quarterbacks a little bit. Now, is he chasing down, a Deshaun Watson or a Mitch Trubisky? No, probably not. However, if you're playing against a Kirk Cousins, if you're playing against a Tom Brady, a Mac Jones, a Tua Tagovailoa, those are the type of guys he can chase down. That's huge. This is a pass-heavy league. This is a league that also wants to try and bully a lot of teams. He's not going to allow either of that to happen. And he gets to play alongside Calais Campbell, gets to play alongside Michael Pierce, gets to play alongside Justin Madubuike. That front seven for Mike McDonald, that front four for Anthony Weaver is going to be something special. He's going to be able to learn from two great guys at what they do. Michael Pierce is a great run stuffer. And then Calais Campbell is just a terrific all-around football player. He can stop the run. He can rush the passer from the inside. He can also step on the outside and do it as well. Not as much now that he's much later in his career, but when he was in his prime in Arizona and then, later towards his prime in Jacksonville, he could do it all. That's the type of player we want Travis Jones to be able to learn from as a big guy that can rush the passer. It's not going to be like the Brandon Williams situation where he can stop the run and it's okay. I'm completely okay with putting Travis Jones in on first down. Completely okay with it. Because, he can stop the run, but he can also generate push. And if he's going one-on-one, it's going to be a difficult blocking assignment. Now, the biggest thing he had an incredible Senior Bowl. That's where he really took form. But when I made my draft profile on him, I talked about how he could end up becoming the best defensive tackle in this draft over Jordan Davis, over Devontae Wyatt, over Fidarian Mathis, whoever you had as your, DT1. I felt like he could be that guy. And he could potentially be a late first-round pick, early second-round pick. I was thinking the Ravens could draft him at pick 45. They ended up going to Ojabo, which I'm very happy with. But, I thought that was a great pick. The big concern I think some people had about this day two was the Ravens didn't use any of their 6 fourth-round picks to trade up. They didn't go get another second-round pick. They didn't go get another third-round pick. They didn't try and move up in the third round, to go after players such as George Pickens, and players of that nature. They decided to sit back. I think that was really smart because now at the positions that the Ravens need, they're not going for instant impact, maybe outside of wide receiver, you could argue. They need depth. They need depth at cornerback. They need depth at linebacker. They need depth at offensive line. They need depth, honestly, at wide receiver now that they've lost Boykin and Marquise Hollywood Brown. Maybe depth at running back. They're not looking for, yes, it's nice to have a second-round pick, a third-round pick. However, they just need these picks to be able to get players to put on the roster. We still only have a couple of cornerbacks. Now, Brandon Stevens, maybe shifting over that way, so maybe 5 cornerbacks you can say on this roster. We need a lot of guys. Well, we're probably going to take a couple in the 4th round. We're probably going to take a wide receiver. So being able to have a multitude of picks allows the Ravens to not only draft a lot of depth, but also they can trade those picks for future picks, right? They can do so many things with all these picks. So I think it was smart not trading up because they still got 2 great players. If they had missed out on a guy that I felt was falling way too far, and they could have traded up, I would have been a little bit disappointed. But because they got 2 of the best players, they could have possibly gotten going into day 2. I mean, you look at day 1 and day 2, and you told the Ravens, hey, all of these players are going to be available at these spots. The Ravens front office wouldn't believe you. They would not believe you. If you said Kyle Hamilton would be available at 14, and you'd be able to get Tyler Linderbaum, in the first round at 25. Also, David Ojabo is going to fall to your lap at 45. And at pick, I want to say it's 76, where we took Travis Jones, he's going to be available. They would have said, no way. No way. But that's how it fell. And that's how the Ravens capitalized. So I think this was a phenomenal day 2. And guys, I'm not someone that, will celebrate everything the Baltimore Ravens do. I get upset at a lot of things. But I really think so far they've been absolutely smashing this one out of the park. Okay? Out of the park. It's been incredible. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on the Baltimore Ravens in day 3. I'm going to be putting out my wide receiver video. I'm going to be putting out my sleeper player video. Please let me know what you guys are thinking. The draft starts pretty early. This video is coming out at, I believe, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. The next video will be coming out 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And then the final video will be coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you guys have another video or something like that you want me to do, I can maybe get one out at 11 a.m. We'll see if I'm up at that time. I live on the West Coast, so that would be waking up kind of early for me, especially on a weekend. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support that's been shown on the channel, since the draft started. This is my favorite time of the year. Obviously, I'm super tired right now, but I absolutely love it. This is the best time of the year to be a football fan, the best time of the year to be a Ravens fan. Honestly, the best time of the year to be a content creator, because I just get to talk about what I love so much, and I'm glad that you guys like to hear about it. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see all of you again in the next video.